Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is SoFi Technologies. I saw that the price was dropping, and I thought I'd look at it because I had called that it would drop earlier, going down to around $6.05. And I think that might be happening. So I don't know. I got kind of a hard time for saying that price would go down. So I just had it pulled up here and wanted to do that. But nameless, I do see your comment on Fastly. I will definitely go over that as well as the SPX. See if other people are coming in, and I'll probably switch over to the SPX at market close. The last 15 seconds or so, maybe last minute of the market, just to see what's going on with that. I haven't been paying attention today, so it'll be interesting to look over there. Yes, I'll just throw it up here so I don't forget, but I'll probably flip over to the indexes watch list to look over at that. But yeah, first going over Fastly. Looks like it's come down to this level that I've marked at $7.15. And let's see, that was the low over here, so potentially forming a double bottom, but I think it's going to be pretty important to see where it closes at. The low for the day was $7.09. So I don't know, is that a new all-time low for the stock? How far back does it go? Yeah, that's a new all-time low hit today, $7.09. That doesn't seem so great, but I think the close is going to be really important. Need to see a close above 715. If we get one below, I think the downtrend's just going to continue. But this could be a great dip buying opportunity because we do have this gap to the upside. So the close on May 1st was $12.93. That's basically almost a 2x from current price. So plenty of upside for it. But let's see. Yeah, the market cap's pretty big. It's almost $1 billion. But yeah, so I don't know if there's anything here that really stands out other than just that prior all-time low, dipping below it. Let's see. Where can I? So what I might do is just do a Fibonacci extension from the approximate low over here up to the... Actually, that won't necessarily be useful because I don't know the bottoms here. So I'll probably just do it from the top here, down, and then up. And then that will give us some levels to the downside that will be pretty extended, but maybe there's something there that stands out. So it did break below the 1618. That's at $8.57 or right around there. So that's probably going to be an important level to reclaim. And yeah, so let's see. And hey, Yankee, what's up? Oh, yeah, GME. Yeah, I mean, I basically AMC and GameStop are like perma requests because I request them. So yeah, I'm happy to go over those. And I will be doing videos on AMC and GameStop after the close. I think every single Friday except for one. I did it on Saturday. This year, AMC's after the close on Fridays, and I'm doing GameStop as well. Very interesting to be covering those. And I'll switch over to those once I'm done with Fastly. I was going to go over the SPX real quick as well and some of the indexes there. But let's see. I mean, is there a trend line that we might be able to connect? I mean, it's going to all-time lows, so that's kind of tough. I feel like the main thing for Fastly is what's the close at. If the close is above 715, if we don't see any closes below 715, I think that could suggest a bottom is in. But let's see. Yeah, lots of volume here with a drop down. Volume's been pretty low as it's been fading. Yeah, so I mean, I think today it's possible it could be a bottom, but like yesterday, what was the low? 715. I think 715 is a really important level. So as long as it's not closing below it, I think that could be good. But if there is one close below it, 714, doesn't matter what it is, then I think that suggests the downside will continue. And one thing that, let's see, I mean, we can do a couple things here. I'm just going to do a trend channel, just looking at all of the price action. See if that, okay, so there's something there. but I mean, again, we do not want to be going lower than 715 as far as closes go. We could also potentially just draw. I mean, it's all downtrending, so it's not really that helpful. But so this low was what is that, 783? Yeah, okay, we got a horizontal line drawn there. I'll probably just delete that because it's not going to be useful anymore. And then I'll do it to today's low, assuming that remains the low. And so I got 783 here and 709 here. And so, yep, that's locked in place. I'm going to delete this horizontal. Well, actually, I might leave that horizontal line because that's going to be a key level for us to break above that pivot low from, let's see, May 2nd. 783, want to get above that, want to get above $8 a share. And yeah, so I mean, hopefully we bounce. If we do close below 715, I'd look for it to follow this downtrend level. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the bottom's in and there are no closes below 715. But it's already discovered a new low today, so it could definitely continue lower. But yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. I know it's not that great of news, but yeah, I'm going to switch over to the SPX, and I'm really just going to go over to my indexes watch list so we can look at the other ones if we're interested. SPX, yeah, I mean, I saw this a couple days ago when it did gap above that trend line that I drew. Let's see, I'm just going to see, it is on the linear axis, and if I do take a step back looking at the, I think I drew something on NVIDIA, or maybe it was the SOX, I'm not sure. SOXS, I should say. But yeah, so there's that trend line that's based on, let's see, I can look at this on the daily. Yeah, that's based on the high that was hit on August 16th of 2022. And then the other pivot point is, I could probably adjust it to a different one of these, but there are no opens or closes above this level at this point. And this is March 28th of this year. And so we kind of got, a test of it, and we did get this break above. Seems like it's going to be kind of a fake out break above it. Although, the weekly candle does look pretty strong. It doesn't look like it's putting in a topping signal. But I guess, I'd wait to see if we get a close above 5,400. I think that looks potentially pretty strong, although it is just one close above this level, and really you need to see multiple closes above it. But yeah, I mean, it's looking higher. And for me, like, I haven't been adding to my short positions, whether that's SPXU, which is the smallest that I have of the short positions. I think SH and or SQQQ are my largest ones. And I just haven't been adding to them over the past few weeks, just like hanging out, waiting, seeing what happens, and really just because we're just going to continue to put in like kind of crazy highs. I feel like until around the election or, so like getting into like after summer into the fall and potentially around like inauguration. I think it's all going to be kind of related to the election as far as when a top is finally put in. And, let's see, SPXU, this is leveraged short, but yeah, sub $20. We're currently at that price now. So, I mean, I think short term, I think this is a dip buy, but there is this downtrend here, and that's probably going to act as resistance, also corresponding with a gap fill. So the close on the 11th, which I think was, that was Tuesday, that close was 30.64. So that could be a level where we find some resistance. And let's see, SH. Close from the 11th here was 1174. So again, some resistance there. Could probably draw a downtrend from those 2 points, similar to what I did with SPXU. And so, yeah, like I said, this is 3x leverage short, S&P 500, and SH is just short S&P 500, whereas SQQQ is 3x leveraged. Wow, this is down pretty far. I did not expect this. I guess I haven't really looked in a while. It seems like, this is 3x leveraged short the NASDAQ or QQQ, and 823 maybe that's a level to be paying attention to. It does seem to correspond with not only the 1618 from this gray Fibonacci retracement, that's just kind of an extension to the downside, or this more proper Fibonacci extension, the 382 is at 823. So given that there's a confluence of those two levels, I think that $8 to like current price is going to be key to be keeping an eye on. And maybe, I mean, since this is leverage, I don't know how useful this will be, but I'll just kind of do it for fun. See if there's a trend line there. Yeah, I mean, that's just approximate, threw it up there, but that could be suggesting, I mean, maybe we're getting down to 675 where there's that 50% from the level from this extension here. So yeah, I think that the market's going to continue to go higher, and eventually it's going to lose steam. And I guess, thinking about that, it losing steam, can't look at the volume here. So maybe that's why I want to look at the SPY, got some volume here. And, yeah, I mean, putting in higher highs, but let's see, RSI also putting in higher highs. So, yeah, I mean, it's just like the little engine that could is just going to keep, except it's a big engine, and it's going to keep going. So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't cut my losses because my positions are small, but I'm just, adding a little bit. And I should note one thing I'm going to be doing with live streams moving forward is I previously had it where YouTube would automatically insert ads periodically. And what I'm going to do now is just like every 12 minutes there will be an ad. And so I started about 2 minutes late, and there's going to be an ad popping up in about 39 seconds. So just so you know about that, sorry if that's annoying, but I will try to, kind of pace my talking. So there's not much of a disruption. But yeah, streams are just very tough to, they yield very little. It's like cents. So just trying to keep things in balance with that. But yeah, so, and then also when I make sure there are ads later, they will correspond with, the timing. So yeah, it's just about 10 seconds for that. And so in that time, I will get back over to the GameStop chart to look over that one. So just 1 second there. And so yeah, just flipping over to the request list. And so I have gone over Fastly, so I'm going to delete that. And I have gone over the indexes. So hopefully that was helpful. But yeah, I'm just going to go over the GameStop chart here, looking at the daily time frame as I usually do. And, I think that $30 is just going to be a really key level for us to close above. I got that level marked there at 30. And then there are other levels to the downside. I did adjust the ones that I had previously drawn. I will be going over these in a video after the close. And so these lines represent here, this is Roaring Kitty's position or his cost average. It's, I believe, $23.41 and actually 41.35 cents, something like that. And so, and that is when he shared it on Reddit on the 13th, so yesterday. And so that's why I have that line marked there. And then this level, $20 a share, that is marked to June 21st, as that is where he did have his call options expiring. And then below that, I do have 1770 marked because that was the pivot low here, hit on May 24th. And so we can see that we have formed this uptrending level of support. And so this is something I really learned from watching Colin Gladman's videos, his channel. I did post one of his, or maybe both of his videos that he did recently. And he's talked about how, there's this trend line here, and a lot of people can see that as support. If we come down to it, you want to buy it, it's going to bounce. But something that does happen pretty frequently in stocks is that whenever there's a level that everybody expects there to be a bounce, or that the high is in, the low is in, whatever it is, people tend to get swept. And so you can see that here with the high on June 3rd for market hours trading being at a price of, let's see, the high $40.50, but then just a few days later, we went higher than that. So when you see that pullback, you could see, okay, if I'm going short on GameStop on June 3rd, let's say hypothetically, maybe I have a stop loss right around that price, around $40.50. But then just a few days later, that stop loss gets wiped out, those shorts have to cover or whatever, and then price comes back down. Same thing can happen to the downside. And so while we have been forming higher lows here, we have been respecting this uptrend. There's this level here at 1770. If we closed below that, we'd then be putting in a lower low. If we get a wick down to there and then a close above, I think it'd be a really good dip buying opportunity and something that Colin has gone over in his videos. If I do flip over to the moving averages, we can see this blue one here. That is the 200-day moving average. That is right around $16 a share. So I could imagine, or what he was suggesting at least, is that price could dip down to that level, flush down to that level, or just above it. So there'd be buyers waiting right around $16 a share, and there'd probably be people with stop losses right around $16 a share, or maybe just above it. And so, yeah, let's see. Because it's like the idea is to basically screw over the most people. And so if people are expecting price to come down to $16 a share, what is now marked at $16.13, if we're expecting price to come down there, maybe dip by there, that's the bottom, price goes up. Maybe it doesn't go to that level. Maybe it stops just above, maybe it goes to $16.50. And so people aren't able to fill their orders down there. And anybody that had stop losses at $17.70, that's what I was getting at, that being the prior low here, thinking there's not going to be lower lows, it's only higher lows as we're uptrending. So their stop losses would be hit. They no longer have their position at 1770, and then those who wanted to fill at the 200-day moving average, they would not get filled. So right in between those levels, right about where the cursor is at, around 1665, maybe that's a bottom if we do break this uptrend. And I could see us breaking the uptrend, and so a big reason for that, I would have to say, is because, let's see here, I'm just going to flip over to my tools there. And so I feel like a reason for that is, Roaring Kitty previously had a bunch of leverage with his GameStop position through those call options, or through that call option, the $20 strike expiring on the 21st, marked basically by this orange line here. And he no longer has that leverage. He just has a really large position. And so I could see like right around $23 kind of acting as the floor, just because that's, 9 million shares at that average price. They're not going to be moving. But I do think, how many times do you buy something at the bottom, but then it goes down below your average price on occasion? And, Roaring Kitty is not, invincible. And so I do think that price could flush below his average. He might be holding the bag for a few days or a couple weeks. I don't think he really cares. I think he's just going to be hanging out, holding his position. And with that being said, I think price could dip down to below 1770. And, with this max pain, let's actually look over. Is that still the max pain for tomorrow here? GameStop, max pain. All right, so I'm just going to pull this up for next Friday. Max pain is still $20 a share. And if we do look over at the options table for, let's see, June 21st, we can see, I got to switch this over to all, or actually just 50. To get, let's see, the $20, this is puts, sorry, excuse me. This is calls, as you can see up here, $20 strike. The open interest is still really high, while it's not over 120,000, of course, because he sold his and or exercised his position. So right around 65,000 here. And let's see. That does represent the largest strike price, so it does make sense that would be the max pain. And so with that being said, market makers are going to be trying to drive price down to that level. And, I also know that there's going to be some upward pressure from orders being filled, those calls being in the money, people probably going to be exercising them. And, but there's going to be that pressure to try and bring it down to below $20 a share or bring it to max pain. And so I view that if price does dip down to $20 a share, I think it's a great dip buying opportunity. And so I wouldn't panic. I don't think Roaring Kitty's going to be panicking. I think he's going to be holding for the long term. And somebody was asking in the comments, or suggesting, I wonder what his next move is going to be. I think that, when you're just trading things in and out, it's like, ping pong, going back and forth really fast. But with a large position like he has, I view it more as being like chess. And you make your move and then you wait to see the move that the other person makes before you make your move, your following move. And so, Roaring Kitty just made a move. He just exercised calls after selling some and now, has shared his position. He does have over 6 million on this side, but I think that's probably just to, chill. I think he's going to wait to see what happens over the course of the next week and see how the price responds to Max Payne being at $20 a share for next Friday. And so, yeah, I think that he's bullish on it clearly from his tweet about being Paul Atreides riding the sandworm. He thinks price is going to be going a lot higher, especially, following the GameStop shareholders or stockholders meeting next week. Price could be going up a lot higher. And so I think he's just going to hang out and wait. He doesn't have a ticking clock now. He's just got a bunch of shares and he's hanging out. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts on GameStop. I will do a video that'll be more succinct than this, but kind of going over those same points. I think that price could be going a lot higher, but if we do see a break of this uptrend, I think it's dip buying opportunity. And might be the last time if we do go below 20, the last time that we see that, especially if we're closing above Max Payne next week, which is $20 a share. And so on the note of closing above Max Payne, let's look at the Max Payne for today, $27.50. And so I think price is going to be driven down to right around $27.50. But, the low for the day was $27.41. We're looking pretty good. So I could see us closing in the money on the calls, above Max Payne. And that I think would also be adding some pressure for the price to be going higher. So I think things are looking good for the stock, but I think it's also good to be prepared for the downside. And with that being said, as far as AMC goes, this is the one I'm more heavily in. And so for me, I bought a number of calls that expire next week, the week after, and in July. I imagine the out-of-the-money calls that I got will be expiring worthless next week and perhaps the week after that. That's fine with me. It's not that big of a deal. I do have one call that's at a strike of $3 a share, and so I plan on exercising that. But I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm just going to wait and see what happens with the price. I feel pretty confident that AMC will be closing above Max Payne next week, but I can, kind of check over here what the Max Payne is for today for AMC, $5 a share. So, we're really battling with that. I suspect there's going to be a big push the last minute of the day or so to drive price below $5 a share. And then if I do flip over to next week's Max Payne, that's $4.50. And, so that makes me feel good because my the big call that I had, or the one that I'm hoping to exercise, that a strike of $3 a share, and so that would be really nice. And also, something that I just learned about recently from Colin Gladman's stream is selling cash secured puts. And so, like right now, AMC at $5 a share, if it were to come down to $4.50, $4, or even $3, that for me is when I would be interested in selling some cash secured puts. And so effectively that's like if I'd be happy to buy shares at $4 a share, 100 shares at that price, and it goes below that, then I'd capitalize on some premium and I just basically be agreeing to buy 100 shares at $4 a share if it closes below that price. If it doesn't, price goes up, that's great. I've got a bunch of shares, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I just wanted to go over AMC in conjunction with GameStop because I think, you could look at the charts. They look a little bit different, but there still is this uptrend. It looks like AMC's kind of testing that. And, so for me, I'm prepared for there to be a pullback, and I expect all of the out-of-money calls that I have expiring next week and perhaps the week after to be expiring worthless. But that's fine. That's not a big deal. That's part of the learning process. But yeah, Yankee, I see your comment. They might put... I think there must have been another ad there. They must put Keith on the board. Monday, bring your cat to work day. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So I feel like part of what is happening with that. I think they probably just straight up had technical difficulties with their call because there's just so much interest around it. Because his stream had over 600,000, over 500,000 people tuning into it, and so they probably just weren't able to support that. And then also, I wonder if now that he's, like, from my understanding, the fourth largest shareholder, I wonder if he's going to take a more active role in it. And I wonder actually if he even wants to do that. I feel like from the streams that he's done, he is interested in not only the technicals, but also the fundamentals and the direction of where it could be going. So yeah, I mean, I'd be really interested to see, where this, Wall Street Bets Redditor goes from, where he was at a few years ago to over a few years ago to, potentially having playing some role formally with GameStop. So I think that's pretty interesting. But yeah, if there are other requests, happy to go over them. But I also do want to take a second to mention that, let's see here, I'm just going to switch over to here. On the channel, I do now have memberships. So if you guys are interested...
Hey, what's up?
Oh,
Welcome,
crap.
Yankee.
I didn't know that it would do that. Click this.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know why it's going to that. Because it join. Yeah, that's join the membership. So I guess I could click over here. I am new to this. And so see what the members tabs look like for those who are A+ members. And so right now there's just one member. And yeah, you guys can get all of these perks. If you do it, it's just $1 a month. If you want to do the members only live streams, that's $2 a month. But yeah, just trying to grow the channel and kind of, I am never able to keep up with all of the requests, all of the comments, stuff like that. And so this is something that would just help me with that process. So if you guys do like the content on the channel, I encourage this, but also, it's up to you. I'm still going to be producing content that's free for everybody. But I also may start to shift towards prioritizing the requests of those who are members and things like that, just because I can only do so much. But yeah, that's like a nice thing that I just started that was suggested by subscribers, by those in the live stream and stuff. So hopefully that's useful. But yeah, looking at GameStop back here, this is at $28.80, right around there. So still above that max pain, but it may not be closing above 30, as it does look like we got rejected there, hitting a high at $29.93. That was hit, let's see, at about 305. So yeah, pulling back from there. And we can actually do a Fibonacci retracement just to see where price might be going, just from the approximate level there up to the high here. Golden pocket is, coming down to like 28.30, right around there. And, it's not drawn to the penny, but it's pretty close. And I'm just going to add these other levels. If there are, yeah, so it looks like we've broken below the 50% retracement, or actually, we're really just right around there, with that being approximate. So, yeah, but I do think that, especially, we see the tops over here kind of corresponding with the 65% retracement, so maybe we do pull down to there. So potentially look for that. Now, hey, Ricardo, what's up? Yeah, I'll definitely do plug and socks. So I'll do plug first, and then I'll flip over to the short semiconductors ETF, which I feel like all of that stuff, all of the short stuff has just been, it's going to be a while before that stuff turns around. Okay, and so plug, one thing that I did with this, I was like, I can't remember the last time I did a video on this. So one thing that I did, which, maybe I don't think I'll regret, but I did sell a cash secured put with a $3 strike for plug that expires next week, because I had bought a call with a $3 strike that expires next week, and I expect that to expire worthless. And so, it's like to kind of balance what I put down on that call, that's probably going to zero. I sold so it's in the money, but a cash secured put with a strike of $3. And I got $25 for that. I collected premium. And so I'm just going to flip over to the options table so we can look at that, just because really inspired by Roaring Kitty, I've been learning a lot more about options. And so I just kind of want to share what I have been learning. And so looking at the June 21st puts, we can see that the $3 strike gets you a buy, a sell at 32 cent, or that times 100, $32 premium. And so, with price being above 250, you don't get much of a premium there, but you would get, $32 per contract sold. And so with that, you need to have $300 in your account to be able to fill that order. That's $300 per contract. And so for me, that's just like kind of a nice way to like, okay, I have money in my account, but I don't want to spend it. But I am intrigued by Plug now that it's below $3 a share. And so I sold my cash secured put for 25-cent premium, or $25. And so with that factored in, and so not including the call, not factoring in the call, that's going to expire worthless. But I'm getting $25 back if it does close below $3 a share. And then that would put my average total cost on this position at $275. So right around current price. So I view that as at least, a nice thing to be learning more about. I do think that Plug, I was expecting it to be right around $3 a share, but maybe it's going to be coming down to this level that I had gone over in that video, right around 263. We did hit a low today of 269, but we are closing red, it looks like, for the day, for the week. We can look over at the weekly candle. So the week before came down almost 13%. This week only coming down around 6%, or nearly 6.5%. So if we're thinking about it like that, if this is like halving the price coming down, the percentage move, maybe next week we'd only see about a 3% down move. And if I take a measurement from current price, I imagine that will bring us to right around 263. And so, about 3% down to that level. So I suspect my, the put that I sold will be, closing in the money, and I will be getting assigned, and I'll be buying 100 shares at $3 a share. That's fine for me. I can then sell covered calls with a strike at $3 a share. And so that's kind of just fun for me to play around with. And then with that, I'd be making money on premium. And but I think that we're going to have to see where price settles out at. I do think 263, that's the next level down that I see. And it would be nice to really be seeing a turnaround with these candles. We're not seeing it yet. So I think that the bottom still has yet to be formed. And like I said, 263 seems likely. But I might switch over to the weekly time frame to see what's going on. Yeah, it's just like barcoding throughout the day. So it doesn't look too strong. Flipping over to the daily. Back over to the daily. We see, price is coming down. Volume, it's around 20 million. It's been coming down the past few days. So maybe that's suggesting that a bottom could be in soon. And if we do, one thing that we can do is connect these lows. So the low at 225 coming up to the low here at 236. I'm just going to have to assign those here, 225, 236. So there's that. I'm going to make that line a little bit thicker, and I'm just going to leave it white and make it a little bit thicker though still. And so that, look at that. That looks like it coincides with that 786 from this Fibonacci extension that, I did from, let's see, where did I draw that from? From here, then it goes up to the top there, and then it pulls down. So that is where I get that level. So I feel like 263 seems pretty likely. So I'd chill, wait for that. And if that's the case, then, and my put gets assigned, my average cost on that trade is 275, no big deal. But then, with that being said, if I do get assigned for the 21st, then looking at calls, I could be selling, this is premium's going to be going down, but then I could sell covered calls with a strike of $3 a share and make, on a weekly basis, maybe like $5 on that. And so that's effectively just bringing my cost average down. So I really like the approach of, if I think a bottom's in, sell a cash secured put. And then if that gets assigned, then start selling covered calls on those 100 shares at the same strike price. So really, I'd just be playing around with premium. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's a really cool way to trade. And so I'm just excited about that. But yeah, 263, I would say, or maybe, 260 to 265 is a good window there. Having hit a low today of 269, I think that we're going to be coming to that level for sure. But yeah, I can switch over to, let's see, to SOXS for sure, the semiconductors. And so with that, yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to look at NVIDIA real quick because I thought that what did I have drawn here? Is this just a vertical line? It's kind of weird. And there's going to be an ad in about a minute. I apologize about that, but yeah, I don't know what this line is. Maybe switch over to the hour time frame. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Weird. I guess I don't have any drawings on NVIDIA anymore. But let's see. This has just been cranking higher. Yeah, 3.24 trillion market cap. That's just insane. It has to be turning around at some point, imagine. Because now, is this the largest market cap company? Like, what's the market cap of, just to throw it up here for fun, Microsoft? Because I think that's the biggest, or one of the biggest. Market cap 3.28. Yeah, so NVIDIA's bigger. There might be an ad popping up. And wait, no, sorry, 3.24. Microsoft is 3.28. So they're right around the same size market cap. Excuse me about that. But yeah, I'm going to remove, because this is not a semiconductor, I'm going to remove Microsoft. And let's see, SOXS. So from this, yeah, based on, coming from I probably should have, I guess I did lock that. But yeah, just going from the low here. So starting from the high up here, you can see those pivot points. That's how I drew that Fibonacci extension. And from that, you can see that the next level down is $20.60. Hit a low today of $21.46. So that is, yeah, I mean, I think that this is probably going lower. I didn't think it'd keep going this low. And I think I mentioned that I have an average of, I think, around 35. I haven't been adding. I have a fairly small position that I've accumulated just by dollar cost averaging. Like, I could see a bounce here, but like looking at the NVIDIA chart, I mean, let's see how the week's going to close. It doesn't look that weak or anything. There's no topping signal. There's no big wick there. This is closing above last week's high. So I think this is probably going higher. And with that being said, I think SOXS is going lower. And I could see definitely $20.60. I could see it hitting $20 a share. So I'd be cautious with it. Yeah, and like most of the time, like I feel like a lot of time when talking about shorting, whether it's the market or semiconductors, I don't really do videos on them too much anymore because I made the case for thinking that tops are in and they just keep going higher. So yeah, I don't know when we're going to see the reckoning, whether it's in the market or in semiconductors, but I'm just chilling with my position. I think that this will be turning around, so I'm not that worried about it, but I'm just not adding more, or at least not adding more aggressively. But I would say, just like from a psychological standpoint, $20 a share makes a lot of sense. So hopefully that's helpful. I know it's not too encouraging. Yeah, and this is SOXX. This is the long semiconductor ETF, and I don't know if this is leveraged. No, I don't think it's leveraged. So this is pretty similar to the SMH, Shake My Head, which is also a semiconductor ETF. So yeah, so hopefully that's helpful. I know it's discouraging and stuff to see, what's going on, but yeah. So I will switch back to the requests. I gotta find that list. Right here. Cool. Yeah, no problem. I hope it's all. It's like it's pretty discouraging. Like I feel like it's just, I don't know. It kind of makes me sick to my stomach. Like eventually there's gonna be a turnaround, and like the higher that this stuff goes, just the more violent that's gonna be. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm just gonna flip back over to SoFi. I mean, it's at least come into this uptrend. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And I did get kind of an alert from my Weeble account, so I just kind of want to flip over to see if that was an order being filled or nope, that was just an alert. So I'm just gonna see, what did I get alerted to? UTSL. I don't know what that is. A utilities bull market, 3x leveraged. So I'm not really familiar with that one. I've gotten a lot of alerts today. GMAB is one that I covered a while ago. And yeah. But Pixelworks, that was recently requested. And yeah, so just pulling those alerts because I don't get them on the desktop application just because I tend to not log into it. I do most of my trading on my phone, and also I don't want to be logged in if like streaming or something like that. And one thing I'm going to experiment with in the chat, I don't know if this will be cool, but I'm just going to type, I think it's just a colon and then bullish and another colon to see if that creates anything. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Dang it. Because I think in just creating the memberships, this should create a little emoji thing. It's probably, yeah, nothing. So just experimenting with that, having fun with it. But yeah, nothing there. And so, yeah, I mean, we're looking at almost 15 minutes left in the trading for the day. And AMC is battling with $5 a share. I suspect it's going to be closing lower. Considering that it is max pain. And GameStop, there's going to definitely be a push to get it below 750, but it looks like it's holding up. It does look like, there's a fake out break below the 50% level here, 28.67, but it's holding that for the most part. But yeah, I mean, there are all these levels to the downside with 15 minutes left in the market. I don't think it's going below 28. So that's closing in the money as far, or above max pain. So I think that's good. But yeah, happy to take other requests if there are any. There are fewer people joining this than I had expected, but it is a work day, so I guess not too surprised there. But yeah. Oh, let's see. Another one that I've been interested in is VLD. I feel like I should do a follow-up video on them. Hit a low today of $3.09.9. I have a small position, I think 16 or 17 shares. I have just 17 shares, I believe. I had 15 after the reverse split, and an average now of, I believe, $6 a share. So pretty down with it. But where did these? What's going on with my drawings? Huh. It's kind of, oh, what's going on with my drawings? There was the reverse split, so I would need to come down here to see all of my drawings. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to redraw these. So I might actually just clear all of them because they're all worthless due to this reverse split. But yeah, so I'm kind of curious to see, where a bottom is. I, have a pretty small position, but, I had, I think 300 shares, over 300 shares before the reverse split. And yeah, actually, and then I got it up to be divisible by 35, my position. But, where's the bottom? I would like to offload some. My average is around 6. I feel like there's going to be resistance around 7 with the wick low here. Or, right over here, got to zoom in on it. This consolidation, probably going to be resistance. So, yeah, I think that, 480, could be or maybe, getting up to whatever the close was on June 3rd. That was at a price of $4.85.8. I think there's going to be some resistance there. So with my average around 6, I kind of want to get my average down just so I can offload some or all of my shares. I have less conviction in this following what's happened. That's how it goes. Oh, wait. Oh, man, I kept... so I was writing bullish in the chat, but I thought I was writing something else. But yeah, I mean, like with this, though, it looks like it's a bearish engulfing candle, although there is a big wick to the downside. And so kind of what I plan on doing is probably after the close, whatever the closing price is, I'm going to add another share or two to my position. But I will just probably just wait for it to go lower than $3.10 to see if, maybe that is a bottom. Because I don't want to just be adding as this thing bleeds. And so one thing that I can do, which this is actually pretty cool. This could be, it's a downtrend, but let's look at this. What was the low on this day? That was $55.30. So $55.30 right there. And then what's the other point here? That low was $6.63. So 6.63. Make that a little bit thicker so it's easier to see. And so yeah, that is a downtrend, not too encouraging, I guess, but I'm just trying to see if there's other levels here that kind of match with that same trend. It's a little bit different, but yeah, maybe that's maybe this is near a bottom and we're going to see a bounce. And I really feel like maybe there's some similarities between VLD and GOEV. My understanding is they have some good news. Oh, I thought that they were up today. I thought that I saw that there's some good news. They were up, but they are putting in a bearish engulfing candle. But following their reverse split, so they had reverse split 1 for 23, rubbed me the wrong way. But then after that reverse split, they pulled back. Let's see, how much did they pull back following that reverse split? They pulled back about 43%, going to be an add in about a minute. And so from 43% pullback, let's look back over at VLD. What kind of a drawdown did we see following this reverse split, which occurred, it occurred yesterday. Before the market opened. So really looking at a pullback from this point. And that is about 23%. I could see, like what happened with Canoe. There was this pullback, but then there was a massive rally over 100%, over 300%, or about 300% to the upside, 269. So I could see something like that happening with Velo 3D, and so that's kind of what I'm banking on. Hoping at the bottom is near here. So yeah, after close, I might add a little bit to my position and see where that takes me. But I don't want to be a bag holder for too long because it's no fun. But yeah, if there are other requests, I see that there's one person still here as far as I understand. Happy to take request. And let's see. I feel like for me, I'm really just interested to see what's going on with GameStop and AMC, or at least most interested in that. Does look like it's consolidating here following a down move, so maybe we will see a break. If this is a bearish pattern, a bear flag that's formed. AMC, let's see. We draw trend line from here over to here, and we did break below that. So it doesn't look so great. And, trading below $5 a share when max pain is $5 a share, it's not looking so great, but being right around max pain, that's kind of, could be worse. But we'll have to see. But yeah, 8 minutes left before the market closes. Yeah, so happy to go over any requests. If they do pop up, SoFi, wow. Yeah. Yeah, I just shared the video that I did right before their earnings because, yeah, I was calling for downside. We look at the chart on the daily time frame. That's what we're getting here. And so this is, what's the news? The fourth largest investor in SoFi stock just completely dumped its stake. So that's not so great as far as SoFi goes with this massive drop. Down 5% though on the day, so not that bad, but considering, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Yeah, I don't want that to pop up. But where was the high that was hit on the 12th? Perfectly intersects 743 with that downtrending level that I have drawn there. And so that is, this channel. So that is pretty cool. That, oh man. That's really just based, I think it's got to be kind of approximate based on, where are the pivot points for that? Oh, they're all right here. Yeah, so it's pretty cool that served as, wait, I'm looking at this on the weekly time frame. But yeah, I mean, if I switch over to the daily, wicked up to that trend line, and also got rejected from that yellow line that I've drawn there. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just been making multiple attempts to break out there. So I might have to do a follow-up video on SoFi over the weekend. And so I'm going to write that down. And actually, I'm going to open up. I just got a little notepad here. I got some notes on it. And so I will do follow up on SoFi. And then I'm just going to kind of review the other tickers that I've gone over, ones that have been popular, try to do updates on those. But yeah, I'm just going to flip over to AMC for a little bit. We are... Yeah, it looks like, I mean, I'm very curious to see what it closes out. We got about 5 minutes left. GameStop still between these two levels, between the 50% and the 38.2% or the 382. But yeah, this, pretty interesting to see what happens there. And I might actually, since there's not too many requests or anything like that, I might flip over to see what's going on here. And so got some new posts there. Got a like on that video. That's cool. So one thing, I mean, maybe what we want to do is look over at Bitcoin. I heard, oh man, I don't want to look at that one. I heard that's been dumping. I added a little bit to my Bitcoin position today, which I do very, very slow dollar cost averaging. I'm thinking of it just as like a retirement fund. This is on the weekly time frame. And yeah, it looks like it's kind of dumping out. The week's not over, but if putting in a close lower than this week, that may not look so great. Looking at the daily, that is, let's see, from this retracement, coming back to the 50% retracement, also that orange line right around 65,000, a little bit above it, but did wick below, getting a low of right around 65,000. So yeah, and I should pull up what El Capo of crypto said. So what did he post today? He says, strong support / demand here. Most alts look oversold. In my opinion, we could see a strong bounce soon. So might be a good dip buying opportunity. I feel like for me, whenever stuff like this happens, whether it's with Bitcoin, other cryptos, yeah, I mean, a lot of this is just, I mean, because we've been, like the lowest low we've been seeing since this big green move is over here. And so we've flushed below that. And so, yeah, maybe from here it does rebound and start to move higher. But maybe it does break lower, below 65K, and maybe we start to see some, let's see, price action lower. I could see that happening. GameStop still trading on the minute time scale with about 3 minutes remaining in the day, still within this channel above $28.67. So hopefully it can hold that. AMC does look like it just reclaimed $5 a share. Hopefully it can hold it through closing at 501 or more. That would be good. That would be in the favor of the bulls regarding that Max Payne. And and then after the market closes, we can actually look over at the options table to see how many of these calls, expired in the money and stuff like that. But right around $5 a share, an important level, I suspect in the last 1 to 2 minutes. And that reminds me, I should add the last price up there because it will tell us how much time we have left before the minute closes. About 25 seconds left, a minute 25 seconds in the day, in the week. And next week is not necessarily a shortened week, but I believe the market will be closed on the 19th, which is Wednesday for Juneteenth. So it's going to be an interesting week because it's not just a Monday off, just a shortened week in that sense. But 2 days, break, 2 days. So, but yeah, GameStop looking, I was expecting it to be coming down to the 618, getting close to $28 a share, but it's holding and it's probably going to be closing above Max Payne. So I feel like this just sets it up for some big moves to the upside next week. But if we do see some downside, I think that's just trying to create some panic, stuff like that. We got about 35 seconds left in trading for the day before the market closes. AMC, like I said, battling with $5 a share. So going to be tough to hold that. I got about 25 seconds left in trading. GameStop looking good. Looks like it might be reclaiming $29 before close. We'll see. But there's, an effort to drag it down in the last 15 seconds of trading. We're going to have to see AMC right around $4.99, right around $5. So tough to see. About 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and it is closed. So it closed at $28.72. It looks like it's going to be adjusted a little bit, and price is right around there in the after hours. AMC closed just below $5 a share. Not too surprised by that. Just there being some effort to draw that down. So that is it for the trading for the day. And so I've done this stream for 57 minutes. I'm just going to flip over to the options table for AMC and GameStop to see, what kind of contracts closed out of the money because of this this close just below $5 a share. And so I'm looking at calls here, and the $5 strike, we closed just below it. So these are out of the money calls up here. And so that's 32,000 contracts closing out of the money. Would have been nice if they closed above so people could exercise those, but that's kind of a risk with it. And GameStop here, let's look at their table. Let's see, I'm going to flip over to the Max Payne for GameStop. I believe it's $27.50 for the day. And so, yeah, $27.50. And so let's look at those contracts. So that's kind of weird. It doesn't show. Yeah, I guess it just goes in dollar increments right around the price. So I guess it kind of just ended up being an average between 27 and 28. Yeah, because there's about almost 7 to almost 4.9 contracts in that range. Those closed in the money. So that's good. Would have been nice to get it above 29 or really 30. We got 57, almost 58,000 contracts there closed out of the money, so they are worthless. And that was, the premium. Oh, wait, crap. No, I'm looking at the wrong date. I'm sorry. That's the 21st. I was like, shouldn't that be 0? So what was I looking at for AMC? I was looking at the correct ones for AMC, I believe. 32,000 was it? Yeah, okay, so I was looking at the right ones for AMC. That's good. But for GameStop, let's look for this week. There was 27.5, so that makes sense. Good. We got about 3.5 thousand contracts at that price. But then we've got these other ones. This is almost 14,000 contracts here, almost 2,000 contracts here, and then 29. If we would have closed above 29, there's not a substantial amount, really. I mean, like, it would have been great if we closed above 30 because there's over 35,000 contracts there. But we did close above max pain, so that could be worse. Oh, and Trey, what's up? Great day for semis today. I bought SMH in February for 200. Today is 267. Congrats on that. Yeah, I have been slowly accumulating a short position in semiconductors and stuff, and I've been wrong about it in the time that I've been holding them, but I think in the long term, eventually there will be a reckoning. But I'm not sweating it. I don't have a huge position. And I think there's going to be an ad popping up in just a few seconds, so I'll be back in a second. But yeah, SMH. So let's see. Yeah, so actually, yeah, closed almost at 268, so pretty nice in the after hours, going up a little bit more. So yeah, I have no idea where this could be pulling back to. One thing that I guess I could do is I could do a Fibonacci extension from the little dip that we saw here, and then up to here, down to here. Price has gotten to like the 50% extension from that Fibonacci extension, the 50% level. And so maybe it's going to, it did close above it. This is the daily chart. Maybe it's going to 283 or maybe 300. So pretty impressive. But yeah. And so, yeah, Trey says he's absolutely am hoping for that reckoning. I want a sale. Oh, you want to? Okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just have no idea like where this stuff could go. Because I mean, just like Nvidia is, the market cap is right around where Microsoft's is. Let's see, Apple. I know Apple or APL is, another very large cap company. Their market cap 3.26 trillion. Okay, so Nvidia is like number 3. I thought they were above Apple, but yeah, just pretty massive there. And so yeah, pretty neat. And so Trey's saying, I am trying to balance between 1, waiting for a big drop, and 2, thinking there will be a drop for 20 years. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing. I've just been establishing, a small position in SOXS. My average is around 35, so right around where the cursor is here. Sorry, I should say SOXS. I always forget that S. And yeah, so I mean, I'm holding the bag, but my position's not super huge. When it did go up here, I could have sold for a profit, but I actually sold a covered call. I had more than 100 shares. That was before this 1 for 10 reverse split. And yeah, then it's just come down from there. And yeah, I mean, I think this will be going back up to maybe 78 or so, where the bottoms were here. But that might be, in 2025. So I'm not sweating it. I don't look at it or pay attention to it. And so Dubproof is saying, what do you think about MSTR? Is that MicroStrategy? So I'm going to flip over to the, actually, I'm going to delete Apple from this list because it's not a semiconductor stock. And then I will pull up the requests and I will add, let's see, MSTR. So MicroStrategy. Yeah. Oh, is it? Yes, I was expecting it to be tanking more because Bitcoin's tanking, which we can see up here. But I mean, it's not that bad. 65,000. It's like, yeah. So with this, I mean, I feel like if this is to pull back to support, I mean, right around, you see over here, there's a bounce here, close above this level. There's this gap here. I mean, there are multiple gaps. I feel like this gap right here, let me just, I'm gonna draw it. Yeah, let's see. I mean, I could just draw. I mean, I'm just trying to think what makes sense. Like how to draw that. line. But so the close here was at a price of, let's see, 129763. 129763. So there's a gap to that level. And so I feel like, I mean, Bitcoin's really unpredictable. This could be, discounted opportunity before it goes higher. Who knows how that's going to be reflected in MicroStrategy. I could view this as pulling back to right around 1300, bouncing, filling this gap here. But then if that does happen, there are multiple gaps here to the downside. This would be one. The close here was at $1,028.27. So there's a gap there, so I might write that. It's 1028.27. So 28.27. That being right there. And I'm just going to lock that into place. And then there's this other gap here, which is at a price of, let's see, 1129.42. 1129, okay, 42. And so these are three gaps to the downside that I could see, at least the top one getting filled. That one does also, I mean, if I throw up the volume profile, we can see that does represent, that's actually the volume average low right around there at about, let's see, $1,257.50. And that would correspond with filling this gap, this consolidation over here, potentially acting as support. Also this wick down to that level over here. So I could definitely see that if it does, and maybe it just fills that and these gaps here are left behind. Definitely possible. So I would look for that. I would wait for a pullback to there, but maybe that never happens because maybe like this dip that we're seeing in Bitcoin, maybe it's bouncing right around where it's at, right around 65,000. And that will be reflected in MicroStrategy. But, I feel like if one is to be bullish on one of these, if one is to be bullish on MicroStrategy because of Bitcoin, why not just be bullish on Bitcoin? Why not just accumulate Bitcoin? And so I accumulate Bitcoin in a very slow pace so I don't get emotional about it, whatever it does. And then I just move it to my hardware wallet whenever it's free to do that once I stacked enough to bypass the fees. And actually, that reminds me, I need to check my wallet to make sure that because it takes like 24 hours usually for the free transfers. Need to make sure that goes through. And then so, do you still get paid if viewers use ad blocker? I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Like if you guys do, it doesn't matter to me. Just in case, I also have you playing on the living room TV, so the ads all running in full, but I am on a PC with ad blocker. Yes, either way, it doesn't matter too much. I try to put the ads on the stream because, it's like if I do a video, it probably takes me about an hour to make it as far as recording it, editing it, making the thumbnail and posting it. But like doing a stream like this, I've been doing this for more than an hour, and like videos, like you can think of it as like every 100 views a video gets, I make around $1 from it, from the ads. And so like most of my videos, some of them don't get 100 views, some of them do really well. Like streams, they typically, do like, I'll be lucky if I make $1 on a stream. So I'm just trying to like navigate how to incorporate ads to a stream with it not compromising the experience. So, and if it does compromise the experience, let me know. I can turn them off and then just have the ads after the fact. But yeah, because I hate doing a stream and then being like, oh, in a minute an ad's gonna pop up. But also, whenever I do something on the channel, practice makes perfect, and so getting used to kind of segueing into commercial breaks is something I haven't had much experience with. So. That's something I'll be getting better at it with time. But yeah, ad block away. It doesn't matter to me. It's fine. But yeah, if there are any other requests, I'd be happy to go over one or two more. But I am probably going to start working on the AMC video and the GameStop video for the day, and then that'll probably close out my videos for Friday because I got some errands to run, which I was going to do earlier today, but I instead did the membership thing for the channel. So I'm excited about that. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, if there aren't any more requests, I'm just going to throw this up at the end. But I will also take any requests after it. But so if you did like the stream, you do like the videos, the content I produce, make sure you like them and make sure you subscribe, and always share your thoughts, whether in the comments or in the live chat. Happy to hear from you guys, and I appreciate you all joining. And so CPSM, yeah, I'll definitely look over that one. All right. Calamos S&P 500. Oh, so this is just like an S&P 500 index. This is on the daily. So yeah, it's like, let's see what this is. What's the title for it? Profile. Calamos S&P 500 structure alt protocol. So this investment seeks to provide investment results that, before taking fees and expenses into account, match the positive price return of the Spider S&P 500 ETF trust. Under normal market conditions, the fund will invest substantially all of its assets in flexible exchange options. That reference, yeah. So I imagine why this one's intriguing is because it's only 25.64 per share. Looks like it doesn't trade in the after hours. Whereas if we were to look over at the SPY, which does trade in the after hours and is cheaper, it's 10 times cheaper than the SPX, over $500 per share. So it makes sense why that one. Let's see the requests. Why CPSM would be intriguing. But yeah, there's not much history with it, so I feel like it's really just going over to the SPX chart to get some analysis on that, which I think that we can just see. Oh yeah, I should have, at market close, I was just covering AMC and GameStop. I should have flipped over to this. But yeah, I mean, this looks like we did get a wick down test of that uptrend. I think it's going higher. But eventually I think that we will see a break. So yeah, I'd keep an eye out for that. Depending on when you buy CPSM, it is apparently almost 100% no risk, but capped at just below 10% profit. So let's see. Switching over to that. So yeah, CPSM. Yeah, from 25 bucks up to 25.63, and there will be an ad popping up in just a few seconds. So be right back. Hopefully that was an all right segue. But yeah, looking at the chart here, you say capped at 10%, at just below 10% profit. So from 25, that's like a 2.5% to current price. But yeah. And so exposure to S&P 500 to cap tax alpha. Seeks tax deferred growth inside the tax efficient ETF. All right. Sounds like a lot of technical loopholes and stuff like that. I'm not too familiar with. But yeah, I kind of curious to see what happens with the market next week because I've bought a lot of AMC calls. I expect all of the out of the money ones to be expiring worthless, which is probably going to be a waste of a couple $100 for me. But through it, learning a lot, and also, I made the video on in the money calls around AMC, and I think that I kind of expected the out of the money ones to be gambling, and I could have taken profits on all of my calls. I believe at some point yesterday and the day before, but I didn't, and that's fine because I'm learning. And I will be able to, I suspect, exercise a call with a strike of $3 a share next week. But then I also do have, I'm just going to pull up the ones that I did grab this week. So a plug, I did go over that, but then also big lots. So what I did for this, which is probably going to be expiring not expiring worthless, but if I look over at the calls for the strike of June 21st, because they only have monthly contracts, I have a strike of 250, and I sold it for, this is puts for next week. I sold it for $25, and now it's only worth $10. So I'm actually going to pull that up in my account. That seems odd because price came down 11% today. That's pretty remarkable. But yeah, I'm just going to see what the position that I have for big. I guess it should be saying that I'm, oh no, it says, yeah, so $2.50. So this, it says, it's kind of weird because it says $10, but on my phone it says 28. So I'm down $2.50. My average was 25 cents here, or $2.50, or $250. Wait, sorry, or $25. That's the premium that I collected. And so if it closes in the money, I would then have to buy 100 shares at $2.50. But I got $25 back, so that really put my average at $2.25. So not that bad, but I could have waited for the low is 206 today. It closed right around there. Maybe this is a bottom. I felt like the chart was suggesting in the video that I went over. I didn't think it was going to come down to this parallel channel. No, I mean, I thought it was bouncing here. We did get a bounce, but it's just continued lower. And on the note of bouncing and stuff, I might pull up, curious to see how Rocket Lab performed today, because I did just put a video out on that suggesting that the bottom would be, or the top was in, that it was going to be pulling back, and that is what we saw. We did get a pullback to the 382, closed above it. So I feel good about that video that I just put out. I know there are some people who very closely follow and hold Rocket Lab, always communicate with me on Twitter and the channel, really nice people. And so I'm glad that I put out that video to kind of caution that price could be coming down about 4%. That's what happened today. Could continue lower. And then also, I'm just going to throw up BLNK because I usually get a request to go over that. And we'll see it came down about 4% as well, testing the 382. And so I feel like this one kind of looks pretty similar, at least as far as, this current price action here and putting in this higher high, looking at Rocket Lab does look pretty similar. So I find that to be a really interesting comparison. But yeah, I mean, with that being said, I'm probably going to close this down. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out. And so the next live stream that I will be doing is going to be Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is public. But before doing that, because I do have one member to the channel, at least right now, I'm just going to check to see how many members there are, if that's changed. Still just one. So I'm going to have a live stream starting at 8 p.m. Eastern with one member. So that should be fun. But yeah, I will be doing the normal one at 9 Eastern, but I suspect it might be a little congested, so it might be difficult to get the requests through. But yeah, I mean, like this stream wasn't too heavily trafficked, so maybe Sunday won't be too packed either. But yeah, so I'm just going to be winding this down, ending this stream. And yeah, I appreciate everybody for the comments, requests, and going over these tickers. And I will probably put timestamps on this after I get the AMC and GameStop videos out. Possible I will be putting those timestamps later this evening because I do need to run some errands before it gets too late here. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. I hope you guys did have a nice week trading, and I hope you got some nice plans for the evening. Yeah, Trey, take care, and I'll be chatting with you, I'm sure, in the Discord later. And yeah, you too. Have a great Friday and great weekend. I'll talk to you guys